Frontier winters were unforgiving in a way that's almost difficult to imagine today. Before electricity, before modern insulation, families faced months of sub-zero temperatures armed with nothing but their own risk. Keeping a homestead warm wasn't about comfort. It was pure survival. Every wall was intentional. Every stone had a purpose. And every piece of wood fit into a larger system designed to trap warmth and push back the cold. Understanding how those early households stayed alive reveals an extraordinary blend of practical knowledge, ingenuity, and endurance, much of which still holds value for anyone seeking resilience in today's world. At the heart of every homestead was the central fire. It wasn't just a blaze for cooking or light. It was the backbone of life itself. Early fireplaces were crafted with precision, built wide and deep with heavy masonry that could absorb heat throughout the day. Those thick stones and bricks slowly released warmth long after the flames faded, stretching the value of every hard-earned log. As technology advanced, the wood-burning stove took over, revolutionizing the way families heated their homes. Unlike the open fireplaces that lost tremendous heat up the chimney, cast-iron stoves trapped warmth inside an enclosed chamber, radiating heat evenly and efficiently. Their flat tops doubled as cooking surfaces, and careful placement, often in the center of the home, allowed heat to spread into multiple rooms at once. Efficiency was the rule of survival. Firewood had to be prepared months in advance. Cut, split, stacked, and fully dried before the snow came. Every log mattered. Settlers learned to manage airflow with adjustable vents, keeping fires burning cleanly but slowly enough to conserve precious fuel. Even ashes had value. They were packed around the stove for insulation or mixed into mortars to seal gaps in walls. Nothing was wasted, because waste could cost lives. But even the strongest fire meant nothing if heat escaped through cracks and gaps. So families perfected natural insulation long before modern materials existed. Log cabins were tightly stacked, but the spaces between them required a process called chinking, filling gaps with clay, mud, straw, or moss to seal out icy drafts. Windows, always a weak point, were covered with oiled cloth, paper, or stretched animal hide, reducing heat loss while still letting in a faint glow of daylight. Doors were hung with heavy quilts, carpets, or rugs to stop the winter wind from slipping through. And in the most severe climates, people even packed soil or snow against the outside walls, creating a natural insulating barrier that strengthened as temperatures dropped. Inside, warmth was preserved through layers upon layers of fabric and natural materials. Straw-filled mattresses kept beds off the cold floor, while animal hides laid across planks helped prevent heat from bleeding into the ground. Curtains and tapestries hung from walls weren't just decorations, they were thermal shields. Rooms not in use were closed off for the season, concentrating every degree of warmth where it was needed most. In truth, the frontier household was a finely tuned machine designed for efficiency, built from nothing more than the materials at hand. Remarkably, many of these techniques still apply today. Heavy curtains, draft stoppers, layered rugs, modern versions of the same principle settlers used with mud, cloth, and hides. Tego lesson. Tea changed. Conserve every bit of heat that's been worked for. Families also relied on passive heating strategies long before those ideas had a name. Cabins were often built facing south, capturing the low angle of the winter sun to warm interior walls throughout the day. This simple alignment could make a tremendous difference in fuel consumption. Earth-sheltered homes, dugouts, and sod houses, partially built into hillsides, took advantage of the stable insulating temperature of soil. Even in brutal winter, underground walls stayed much warmer than the open air, reducing the need for constant fires. The land itself became part of the heating system. Trees were left standing deliberately to create windbreaks, shielding homes from the gusts that could strip away warmth in seconds. Rows of evergreens were planted strategically, acting as natural barriers. Even stacked firewood served a double purpose, forming walls that deflected cold winds while keeping fuel close at hand. But heating a homestead wasn't only about structures and materials, it was also about the way people lived. Social practices, habits, and daily routines were shaped by the need to conserve heat. Families often slept together in shared rooms, through the coldest months. Understanding that body heat was a resource too valuable to waste. A house filled with separate bedrooms might be a summer luxury, but in winter, it became a liability. So everyone slept where the warmth was, near the stove or hearth, bundled together under layers of quilts and hides. Daytime life revolved around the warmest spot in the home. Sewing, mending, preparing food, sharpening tools. Nearly every chore was done close to the fire. Evening gatherings weren't just moments of comfort or tradition. They were a practical necessity, keeping everyone in the warmest part of the house until nightfall. Even animals were part of the system. In many frontier homes, barns or sheds shared walls with living spaces so that the body heat from livestock helped warm the interior, while the animals themselves were protected from severe weather. This interdependence showed how deeply heating strategies were woven into daily life. The methods used by these homesteaders were born from necessity, yet they also embodied principles of sustainability and energy efficiency that resonate today. Fireplaces with thermal mass, stoves with controlled airflow, natural insulation, passive solar heating, earth-sheltered design, and communal living practices all form a foundation of knowledge that remains relevant in an age where energy independence and resilience are becoming increasingly important. The ability of frontier families to heat their homes without electricity was a testament to human adaptability and ingenuity. Through clever design, creative use of natural materials, and cooperative living, they endured winters that would have overwhelmed the unprepared. Their techniques are more than historical curiosities. They are practical lessons that still offer guidance in a world searching for efficient, sustainable ways to stay warm. Understanding these forgotten methods reminds us that comfort doesn't need to rely entirely on modern technology. The lessons of the past: efficient stoves, natural insulation, passive heat, shared warmth, provide both resilience and inspiration for those who value history and the remarkable ingenuity of the people who came before us. These stories deserve to be preserved and passed on.